Yeah.
So a lot of people did. So
Right.
now I have like 15 friends.
Well, it's okay if you see a new social media thing and you're like, hey, that's kind of interesting, I'm going to try it, do it. That's what I did with Twitter. I joined Twitter like 3 months after it launched. I had no idea what it was. It was a friend was just like, hey, join me on this Twitter thing, and then we can like talk through Twitter. And I was like, okay. I joined, woo, you know, but it took a while, and then it took off, and then now it's like, I'm pooping in the bathroom. Right? Don't do that on your professional accounts. Actually, just don't do that on any of them. But that's how it's taken off, right? Like, it's so pervasive.
Well, unless you're Andy Dick, then you can tweet that and you'll make news.
Yeah, well, right? Right?
Because the bathroom, not a homeless person.
Exactly.
Well, now's the time to say that SPJ has, our SPJ has,
Twitter.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Twitter account.
with,
Say that.
with the amazing number of 22 followers.
Yeah, after our last meeting, we decided that we actually looked at it, and on our sheets and on our papers, the SPJ account that we had was actually the national one, we noticed. So we decided, okay, well, it's time to make our own. So we now have, it's SPJ, it's all capitals, SPJ _ CSULB. And go ahead and find us on there, follow us. We're going to retweet stuff about the journalism industry mostly, if you want updates on what's happening in the industry. Not specific news, but anything in the industry impacts your jobs, impacts what's going on with you in the industry, and it's a good thing to follow. Also, you guys noticed the camera, probably. We now have a YouTube channel, and for those of you that can't make it to the meetings, we're going to try to get this up on YouTube so that people that can't come can still see what we're doing. So if you find us on there, I think it's some variation of SPJ CSULB. Some sites don't want spaces in their names, and it's weird. So it might be SPJ _ CSULB, or it might be SPJ.CSULB, but if you search, you'll find us on there. It's on there somewhere.
So speaking of all that, when you guys are going to one of these meetings, you should announce that. Had I known your Twitter account, I would have tweeted that. From the professional account, I would have broken the rule just for this, but now I'll go home and I'll do it. And I know who my Follow Friday is. You'd be surprised. I have a few LIT people. Every time I get an LIT person, I'm like, yes, I got another one. Do you feel that way? I mean, you know a lot of them, so you've got a little bit of a better in, but...
I don't know. I'm like surprised anyone's following me. I'm like, I'm never on this thing. I'm glad. I don't know how you found me.
It's exciting, and then like they respond to you. Like I asked Tony Barbosa, who's like the water reporter for the LA Times. He said there was a tiki boat, and asked if there was a tookie bird on it. He's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "George of the Jungle, dude." He didn't respond, but it was really exciting for like one response out of some guy who was at the Times, you know. Like I tweet at the social media guru. If you want to follow him, he's Martin Beck. I think that's his handle, but he's really interesting because he kind of does the whole Twitter thing. So he retweets stories he finds interesting. He tweets about his son's football games. I don't know, he's pretty, it's interesting to look at how he does it because he is their social media guy for LA Times. So it's another good example.
Besides journalism, what did you guys minor and major in? And what did you guys want to graduate?
I minored in Spanish, and I've only ever used it with a reporter who spoke Spanish fluently but couldn't spell in it. Again, spelling, grammar kind of matters. And then right out of college, I waited tables for a year. I'm really a big fan of like taking a year between every big step that I have to take. And I don't recommend it, and I do recommend it because you get really good at talking to people. You make about the same as if you were a journalist. As many hours too, but yeah, it helped, you know, so.
I double majored in anthropology and journalism. My goal eventually is to get into health publications, health writing and editing, because my anthropology was an emphasis on medical anthropology. I use it all the time. I still use that part of my degree because I'm doing freelance work and side work in fact, I'm meeting with, do you remember Roman Heindorf? I'm meeting with him tomorrow to talk about doing health writing for them for a new publication that's starting. It's kind of like the Huffington Post. So definitely am using it.
I double majored in political science, and one of the most useful things I've ever done, I'm pretty sure he may not be doing the program. Louis Ringgold upstairs is running this judicial program, and it is amazing how handy that was. You know, I can go in a courtroom and feel very comfortable from day one. I know what's going on because I spent 80 hours in a courtroom already, and I got to hang out in judges' chambers and talk to judges. So you learn how to talk to judges and lawyers and people. And so you just have this automatic comfort with general American law, and especially the courtroom. And that's really good if you're the court reporter for your newspaper.
Too, I think like it gives you a certain air of credibility right off the bat if you have a degree in something you're writing about. That's why most New York Times economics writers typically have some kind of background in economics. They understand the language. And then when I've gone to write health stories, for example, I've actually had people say oh, cool, good, I don't have to worry about you totally screwing up this story. When I told them I had a degree in medical anthropology. So.
I will say for Jamie's part that language, knowing the language, studying the language, enhances your understanding of your own language.
Mm-hmm.
And I've used Spanish on the job in numerous times.
Well, you helped us dub a video.
Yeah, you can do translation, you can talk to people, you can do interviews with people that would at one time were inaccessible to the newspaper.
And that's something you can parlay into something else. I had an English teacher in high school who spoke German and lived in a small town, and somebody from Germany got arrested. She had to serve as a translator. You can use those skills outside the newsroom. So journalism is a great place to start, but sometimes you branch into other things. You're a reporter who ended up working for nonprofits. She started out with us, and then she went to Sundersham Center for the Arts. That's what it's called now, right? It was OCAC, the Orange County Performing Arts, but they changed it now. So, now she's working at the Globe Theater in San Diego, and she loves it. So sometimes journalism opens a door you didn't see right away, and that minor might help you. Brad, did he major in music?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, he might. He did journalism, and then he had Spanish music minor, and then poli-sci journalism
He
major.
did 2 majors and 2 minors, and he's
Which is unnecessary, and you really shouldn't do that.
No, but he writes a classical music column for us because he's got that degree that he can fall back on, and it's really enhanced the paper because he has this extra voice. We've got Pacific Symphony and all these other things that I don't understand, and but he does, and it's great. So it can be useful. You just have to find the thing that you like, and if you really love something to minor in, do it.
Do it.
You fell into the courts,
And
it
I
sounds like
love
it's been
court.
perfect,
Yeah,
right?
and I can speak legalese. I'm I think I know what a demur is. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You get what legal speak is, or you get whatever your language, your
jargon.
Yeah.
You'll
you
find
get
your
it.
way. Whatever your minor is, you'll find your way into it. So
Sure.
definitely recommend. I know it's required, right? Yeah, but I still do it. Do too if you like. If you have the money.
I recommend it too.
Well, looks like we have 10 minutes left. Does anyone else have any questions?
It's actually very simple, straightforward. Did you major in medical anthropology or was it biological anthropology? Because I majored in anthropology, and there is no medical anthropology available to us as of yet.
Not anymore.
It's biological now,
Mhm.
which is physical. So physical/biological. And
Yeah.
then
When I was here, they still had medical anthropology classes. I think they
just
got
maybe
cut
cut
out.
the program, and that's why it's
I think it's just cultural and physical anthropology
cultural,
now,
physical,
and applied
linguistics,
and
and then
linguistics.
applied.
Yeah, which really, if you look at a lot, this is totally a side question. If you look at a lot of the cultural anthropology classes and physical, there's usually a few medical-related classes in there, and you can kind of make it your own degree. But because the anthropologists, they don't really do physical. You just emphasize in one of those things.
Can I ask you guys about your internships and what you did? You all had internships.
I didn't intern. I did an
think it's a lot
externship,
different now.
which is but it was with poli-sci. And so I freelanced. I worked for the Daily Pilot, and then I did a poli-sci internship, which I don't know if that counts. Does it count?
You worked at the PT, right?
No.
No, you didn't. Okay, I
No,
worked
I
at the
did.
PT as an. Oh, that was okay. I was an editorial assistant or clerk or something before they had the internship program. That might as well have been an internship because I was only there for 5 months, and I did a lot of time typing up